101.3 Nigeria Info.
Morning, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Digest with Jimi Disu, brought to you by Amstel Malta. Right. Today is Salad Day, so we don't want to tax ourselves. I don't want to tax myself. I don't know if you want to tax yourself, but we don't want to tax ourselves too much. Let's just sit back, enjoy the salad. If I had my way, I'd have been cooling off in my house. But duty calls, and so we're here. Well, the first thing I need to do today is to say happy birthday to Mrs. Jayola Ayeni, the wife, beloved wife of inestimable value of our regular health contributor, Dr. Ayeni. Dr. Ayeni is one of the resource persons I usually run to when I have a health issue to discuss. Captain Blade is security, and of course, the legal ones. I have about 3 or 4, including my incoming son. GT Oguye. GT Happy Salah. Okay, so Mrs. Ayeni, happy birthday. I don't know how old you are today. The posting that I saw, your husband just said we should all wish you happy birthday. And I think the part that he didn't say, that he would have told me privately, is to thank you so much for tolerating him. Let me explain that very quickly before people have any naughty insinuations about that. When we men get to a particular age, our wives just tolerate us. We become part of their children. We do all kinds of naughty things and, things that we really shouldn't be doing. So the thing to do at a time like this is to express the love of our paddy man, Dr. Ayeni, to his wife, Jayola, and also to thank him for tolerating him and us, people like us who sometimes find ourselves calling him at 5 o'clock in the morning. Dr. Emma, this very urgent, and he's always ready to oblige. So there you go. Happy birthday. We don't know where the party is. We don't know where the cake is. But even if it's killing. Okay, so what we are going to do today is I'm in a very lazy mood. I'll take a few of your comments, which you will call from a private place. You will call with a sense of responsibility. Nobody is going to be on trial. But I'd just like to take your comments on the frustration I have with this recent building that went down in Lagos. Okay, and take your comments and let us know. Now, this is not a time for politicking. This is not a case of somebody hating somebody, which is the usual lingo that we hear, or somebody not liking. We need to sympathize with our fellow human beings for finding themselves in that dilemma, especially the parents of the 4-year-old that we lost under these circumstances, these tragic circumstances that I believe could easily have been avoided had everybody been doing the right thing. Everybody is underlined in this sentence. So so for the first half, I wish you happy Salah, but at the same time, I'd like us to reflect. And what better time to reflect, Sheriff, than a time like this when the 2 major religious bodies have gone through a period of fasting, one set for 40 days and another set for 30 days. I remember the late Basil Agosto after every Ramadan. I remember him saying something to the effect that if after Ramadan you go back 100% to your old ways, you have gained nothing. Maybe a bit of weight loss and something, but spiritually you have gained nothing. And I'd like us to use this period to resolve to lead a better lives. That is, those who are, let us use the word, ruling us, and we the ruled. Because those who are our leaders are a reflection of the followership. We tolerate the things that are not right, and therefore we are complicit. But here we are on a Salah day. Those of you who are sitting back at home now, sipping drinks and all kinds of things, in the home of the 4-year-old is not going to be happening. And these tragedies can be avoided, jolly well avoided, I believe, if we did the right thing. I'm not going to be making much comment because, as usual, in recent times, a lot of things that happen confound me. They confound my logic. They confound my sensibilities. They confound almost everything that I stand for. And since I I don't have an explanation. Maybe you will. So we are going to open up our lines 0700 Abby 993 and 014657190. Now let us all remember the rules. You call from a quiet place. You put off the radio where you are. Another thing is you don't talk too loud. I mean, you talk loud enough to hear, but sometimes your voice, boom voice, can burst our eardrums. And then remember that you have a minute. Occasionally, we might be a bit more generous, but you have a minute. So if you spend all the time greeting this and greeting that, liking what I'm wearing or what Sheriff, don't look at Sheriff at all in case this is the daily digest with Jimi Disu. It doesn't include and Sheriff. So don't look in his direction at all. You know. Don't be upset.
I'm not.
Right. I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean that.
No, but you are right. You are very right. I'm just going to leave the studio now.
No. Who will pick? Who will pick the calls? No. About trouble, sir. I was a naughty boy. Please, as Mrs. Ayeni is tolerating Dr. Ayeni, please tolerate me. Barka de Salah, by the way, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
Barka de Salah. And I'm sure you found some sense in what I said about Ramadan and Lent.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
That if after, for 40 days and 30 days you've been in denial and you now go back doing exactly, then you have learned nothing.
Nothing at all.
And there are no blessings in that, Abi. I'm glad. I'm glad about that. So you look at the lines. Look, everybody wants to say something. Yeah. Okay, so let's pick the first caller. Hello, good morning. Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. How are you, sir?
Yeah, fine. My name is Lawrence. I'm calling from Ikorodu.
Brighten up. Yes, sir. Let's hear you.
Name is Lawrence. I'm calling from Ikorodu.
I can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Okay. I blame government at all levels for building collapse.
Oh, I see. Okay.
In the sense that we have inspection agencies who ought to go around to know buildings that are dilapidated and are dangerous for human habitation.
Mm-hmm.
They should have done this. If they had done all of this, buildings will not be collapsing and people losing their lives.
Yes.
That's my own take.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you.
Well, Sheriff raised the point this morning, and for those who didn't listen in at 7:30, he raised the point about the fact that, okay, government had tried to make an attempt to demolish a particular building and that the people, well, they didn't resist. From the video I saw, they were pleading that they should be given more time. And I guess my interpretation of his question was that, okay, maybe sometimes government would make an attempt to demolish these buildings, but to face some kind of resistance. And I said to him at 7:30, and I repeat now that is no excuse. If I were in government, I want to bring down the building, all my legal knots are tied, and there's a real valid reason to bring it down. That building is going to come down, whether you beg or not. Because in any case, for those who are begging, it's more to save you. And sometimes, rather than give sugar to a diabetic, you give them a bitter medication for them to feel better later. Okay, so even though they don't understand it, later it will be clearly understood. So what do? You have all the paraphernalia, have all the security apparatus in your hand. I don't just go in there at 8 o'clock in the morning with the bulldozer and say, I want to bring you. Nobody does that. You go in there at about 11, 12 midnight, 1 o'clock. You clear the area. By the time you are ready to bring that building down, any human being is so many yards from where you are standing. I mean, these are ways these things can be done, and that building will jolly well come down. That is if all the legal whatever, you've given adequate notice, if there are any court injunctions, you've cleared them, and of course there is a genuine reason to bring this thing down for public safety. People's resistance or begging or whatever is no excuse for performance of this act. So that for me is absolutely no excuse. I think that what lies at the bottom of all this, believe you me, is that we have not made enough examples of people who are responsible for this irresponsible act. Let's be very honest. Like I told Sheriff this morning, Abby, yeah, witness. Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Like I said this morning, to the best of my knowledge, after huffing and puffing, nobody has been prosecuted for the collapse that happened in Ikoyi. After nobody. And you need to go to my blog, jimidisu.com, and read what Kunle Uthman, legal practitioner, member of the body of benchers, and read the article that he wrote out of frustration, and he sent to me at about 4 a.m. I think that Mr. Uthman, with due respect to him, he forgot that the Ramadan is over, so he woke up in the morning to eat sari. And then he saw the news and knocked it out because I got it at about 4:30 this morning. I got go to jimidisu.com. It's there, and you will read his frustrations. I have mine too, but everything has to be handled in a balance. And I think that with the kind of infuriation that one gets from things like this, so that you don't end up in hospital. In any case, what is it that you're going to say that people don't know? So let's hear from you. Like I said, let's be civil. The last caller was civil. Let's be nice. This is not a political issue. Nobody is on trial here. Maybe by implication, yes, but nobody is on trial here. Nobody is hitting anybody. Nobody wants anybody's job. Okay? Let's just go straight to the point. Right. Another caller here. Good morning. Morning.
Hello?
Yes, morning.
Good morning. My name is Eke.
Morning, Mr. Eke.
My own submission is this. Government should have emergency shelters where people who cannot afford to move out, once a building is marked, for God's sake, is marked for demolition. You give them time. Once that time expires, those who have not, most people don't have money to move out. And government will not want to be seen to throw people into the street. So the best thing, there should be emergency shelter. Of course, Lagos State have emergency shelters where people could be moved to temporarily for 6 months or thereabouts, where they can stay before they can get houses. All this idea of begging, there is no need for that. Government should have emergency shelters where they can move people to.
Oh, okay. The line went off. Okay. If you call back again, we'll try to take the last part of what you were saying. But he was repeating himself anyway.
Exactly.
He just says we should have emergency shelters and so be it. That's quite clear. Let's take another caller here. Hello, good morning.
Uncle Jimmy, good morning.
Morning, sir.
This is Adeshewa.
Yes.
No, I'm a woman.
Morning, ma. Sorry. Morning, ma. Emma Binuma.
This is Adeshewa from Ikorodu.
Yes, madam.
See, Uncle Jimmy, I had a near experience of this marked buildings. When I nearly left my husband there, I moved into a one-room apartment with my children. And 4 months down the lane, the owner of the house said he has sold the house. Mm-hmm. And we are asked to move just 30 days. Me, that I was just from a loan, that I just collected a loan to rent that place. I don't know where to move to. So the last caller is a bit right.
Yes.
See, all this, what have I said? The owners of the house at times, they are playing hanky-panky.
Landlord.
My money was not returned to me. We were evacuated by force because the new owner wanted to renovate the whole place. So I had to go and squat with my children. And my money was not refunded. See, when we look at...
Oh, okay. Your own issue is different from what we are talking about, ma. You understand? But rather than put pressure on government, why don't we as human beings do due diligence before? I mean, some of these houses, if you go to, I haven't been to Lagos Island for a very long time. You can't even get to most places anyway. But that's a story for another day. But at least the ones I can see in the Butemeta, Olonode, all the way down what used to be Petty Street, that is now Borno Way, all the way down. You look left and right, you see buildings that you should never go near. You don't need to be told. Are people too complicit in this? You see these buildings out of desperation, you move in. You don't need to be told. I'm not an architect, I'm not even a quantity. Though I have a quantity surveyor as you know, that you say your best friend, yes, but that one will make that one happy. But you don't need to be told. You can see at sight buildings you should never go near. There are two desperations that people need to get out of their mind. That desperation to live in Lagos by all means. And then the desperation when you're looking for shelter to compromise on very simple standards is a prescription for future trouble. And that's what we're getting here. But that's the essence of leadership. Government is elected. Government has the statutory responsibility of showing leadership. That's why they are called leader. You can't be a leader and stand at the end of the line. It's showing leadership in saying, yes, this is right, and no, this is not right. No matter whose ox is God, that is the least that you expect of government. They must show leadership. They must be firm. Again, remember that if a man wants to commit suicide and do things like that on his own, there are other neighbors that could jolly well be affected. Remember that when one building goes down, it affects the buildings that surround it. You don't know who could be walking past. You don't know who has gone to visit anybody. All kinds of things can happen. You don't know who has parked his car to cross to cross the road, go greet some. All kinds of things. Therefore, these things are not in themselves. The risks are not isolated to one or two or three or limited persons. But we need firm action, which I must say we haven't seen in a while. We need firm action in these and other areas, especially when it comes to environment. It's lacking. But then let's take another caller here. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, morning.
Hello, good morning, Uncle Jimmy.
Yes.
What happened in that video is unfortunate because I was there.
Wow.
5 seconds before that building went down.
5 seconds?
Yes, 5 seconds. A man was on that first floor. I was hearing sound as if sand was pouring on the pan. And the man came out and checked. He went inside again. And I shouted, this building wants to come down. The man ran inside, want to open door, and the thing caved in.
Ooh.
I had to run because I couldn't say anything. I was so shocked. I couldn't call. I tried to call Nigeria Info after that. I have to go to the police station and inform them. Those ones that they are doing, that they want to build that building, and people do not allow them. There is one building in Jeba.
Yes.
Jeba beside ICANN office.
Yes.
They should go and check that building. They say they are renovating it now. That building is another death trap that will soon happen. I'm still imagining the way what I saw that night. Till now I was
it
just
traumatized
that
you.
man. Honestly.
Did the man eventually come out alive?
No. Because I saw him. He went in. Maybe he want to pass through the staircase, or he want to go and take his children. The thing came down on him. I had to run. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Ish. All right. You know, that is what Yoruba say, building on Soko, Sheriff. That when the building is about to come down, you can get a feel from vibrations and whatever. It is a big pity. I've been to buildings too that I refused to stay and just went back. If you look at the building from the staircase, you can jolly well imagine if the railings are coming off, a lot of sand, the railings are not firm, little things like that. These are the visible signs that you can see. And usually, if a building is not balanced, you will know visually if you see these things. Maybe I need to bring in a resource person who can advise our listeners, Sheriff, on how to detect in an amateurish way a building you shouldn't even step into at all. What do you think?
Yeah,
Who do I bring in? Would it be an architect, a QS, or a structural person?
A structural person. A structural person. A building engineer should be able to say exactly
at site. You know, I I didn't want to say I thank God, but that Ikoyi building could have been worse if it had been completed.
Yes.
Because the various defects we are talking about would have been hidden by marble and you know what, you know. We thank God that, you know, the building wasn't fully occupied. Then it would have been a complete catastrophe.
Yeah.
But I think that you need, even visiting, not just living. That's like I said, there's some buildings I refuse to go into. Some buildings are going through the staircase. You know, you have to stoop your neck and so on and so forth. You would know that this has not been well put together. Okay, so let me take one or two more calls and we'll take a
Let's take a break now.
Let me take a break now. When I come back, we'll continue.
Hey, put a spotlight on me. Now let me tell you this. I used to care for the world's opinion.
And I used to fear their rejection.
Omo, I used to beg for validation.
And I used to wait to be seen.
But now, no more.
No more. No more.
Because my time,
My time?
My time.
my own time is now. So what are you waiting for?
I'm still Malta. Be your best.
Hey, put a spotlight on me. Now let me tell you this. I used to care for the world's opinion.
And I used to fear their rejection.
Omo, I used to beg for validation.
And I used to wait to be seen.
But now, no more.
No more. No more.
Because my time,
My time?
My time.
my own time is now. So what are you waiting for?
I'm still Malta. Be your best.
You're listening to Jimi Disu, right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yeah, you're welcome back to the Daily Digest with Jimi Disu, brought to you by Amstel Malta. Whilst we were taking the break, I was getting one of few WhatsApp messages. This is the era of messages, pictures, videos, name it. Right, we'll just continue we'll continue where we started, taking it nice and easy today. Tomorrow, of course, will be Dear Bumi, and on Thursday we are going to have a bit of a bombshell. I'm going to have a gentleman who is going to give a perspective into these sex scandals that we have as regards children. We're going to look at the curriculum of the schools and so on and so forth, and he has a lot to reveal. So, you know, make sure that you don't miss Thursday. It's going to be extremely important. And on Saturday, the discourse with Jimi Disu, 9 o'clock, Angela Jetumobi is going to join me, either physically or by phone. And we will hear some real deep analysis as to what's going on in the APC as far as the primaries are concerned. So you don't want to miss those times. Right, so I'll take another caller here. Good morning. Who's calling? Finally,
Jimmy,
yes.
good morning.
Morning, Oga.
Morning,
How are you, sir? How are you doing?
Fine, sir. Baraka de Sala.
Same to you.
Quick one. Building collapse. The contractors, they are cutting a lot of corners. If you come to my FCDA now, you know this buying of houses now in the rain.
Yes.
That building is a story building. They will put up like 3, 4, 5 stories on top. And they will be fetching water from the gutter. I'm telling you, Okujimi. How do you expect that structure to stand? So the government agents who's supposed to supervise these things, they are not doing their job, my brother. Thank you, Uncle Jimmy.
God bless you. Okay, let's take another one. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Yes. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I want to add to, in addition to what the last caller asked concerning the building collapse.
Yes.
Two things briefly I have is that, number one, you see, the agencies started with the responsibility of check our balances, if I may use that word, in these building constructions, integrity tests and all that. Honestly, I don't want to use any foul language. They are not doing their work. Painfully in my heart. That's number one. You know, number two, they even with the citizenry, there is a place. I mean, I think I need to mention it. They call it Ajibulu around the airport area there. They have already put distress there for almost a year now. You get with their red and people are still there. And look at even the one that happened that yesterday. They said that they haven't put distress, maybe vacation and things are last there for the past 6 months. I mean, what has happened? Where are our enforcers? What happened? Where are the compromises points here? So it's not about what you call Osoitolu to just come up and be expecting. I mean, be reactive. We need to be proactive. So that is just it.
Okay, thank you. Who is Osoitolu? Who is Osoitolu?
Okay, Osoitolu.
Yes,
that's NEMA boss.
Oh, he is NEMA. Well, I mean, you can't hold him responsible. His own is to manage disasters, emergencies after they have happened.
Yes.
The people to hold, I'm sure we should know them. They are the ones who allowed the whatever. Osoitolu's job is to handle the emergency after it has happened. So there's no. So on behalf of Mr. Osoitolu, I'd like to say to you that Mr. Osoitolu has no hand in this matter. His own is to clear the mess. The people we should hold by the jugular is the buck on whose table stops, okay, and hasn't done due diligence for this to happen. That's the way it works.
Right.
Okay?
Take another call?
Yes, we'll take another call. Hello, good morning.
Okay.
Morning.
Good morning, Uncle Jimmy.
This must be
Chief
Darlington. Where have you been?
Don't stress your voice.
Where have you been?
I've been around.
Okay, let's hear from you, sir.
Compliments.
Same to you.
Now, there's something that we're not doing right. In this part of the world, buildings don't have lifespan. People build for those buildings to live forever. It shouldn't be so. If you go to the island, Isaleko, this area of Ebute Meta and some other parts of Lagos, you'll find buildings that have expired. Go to Akpogbo, you'll find buildings that have expired. And when they begin to get expired, you begin to find a lot of default in them. I think government, my suggestion is that this thing is occurring too many a time now. It's not just enough being reactive. It's not just enough sitting by. I want to suggest that one of the ways we could curb all of this is for the government to begin to find a way of visiting some of these buildings that are very, very old. Find a way of, liaising with owners of these buildings, because some of these buildings are the sources of income for this landlord. Discuss with them and find a way of bringing down these buildings. If it means buying them over, you will save lives. Otherwise, this problem will not end, because in here, if you go elsewhere, like the developed world, buildings have a lifespan. Stadiums have lifespan. And then when it gets to the lifespan, when they are expired, they are brought down and then rebuilt. Land never expires, but the building you put on them expires. Good morning. My suggestion.
Okay. I'd like to slightly disagree. What government needs to do, because government can't get involved with everything, what government needs to do simply is to put down regulation and laws guiding properties and make sure that the laws and whatever are obeyed to the letter, pure and simple. Pure and simple. Government cannot get involved in the nitty-gritty of people's lives on a daily basis. Put down the laws, put down the guidelines. Make sure that the laws are enforced and the guidelines are followed. And it ends there. Government providing this, government providing that. Government is not a Father Christmas, which is part of the problem that we have. And those in government, they are unwilling to tell you that there is so much that government can do. For as long as the premium is on being nice to the people and not enforcing the laws so that they can vote for them, this is what we are going to get. So you need to put down the laws, you need to put down the guidelines, and that's it. It's so pure and simple. You see, the truth is we need to make up our minds about democracy. it looks as if quite a lot of us don't understand what democracy is all. You don't vote in the government to be nice to you. You don't vote in the government to be nice to you. You vote in the government to provide a conducive environment for you to survive and survive well. I still like using the word giving sugar to a diabetic. You have a child, he's diabetic, you keep buying him chocolates and sweets and whatever so that the child would see you as a good daddy and mommy. You are postponing the evil day. That is the way we've been living. Always over-pampered. We are over-pampered as a people, the fortunate ones amongst us, and they have the loudest voices. That's the way we've been living. And that's why I sometimes I sometimes say that I am not too sure whether I'm comfortable with the kind of democracy that we are running. Maybe because we've had so much of military government, we still don't have a clear understanding. I mean, if you follow governments of other countries that had been practicing this far ahead of us, the government is very firm on the law, to the point that the law affects everybody. Recently, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom got a fine for holding a party during COVID. Do you think that would ever happen here? Until we get to that point, this is what we'll be having. Government doesn't need to interact with you to see if you follow the building code. The government has the time to do that because we are time wasters. Government has no business interacting with landlords to see if they can buy out your house. That's undue pampering. Your house you built as a landlord is a commercial venture. And therefore, when you're building the house and going by Chief Darlington's whatever, if it is getting close to expiry date, you make up your mind what you're going to do with it. Are you going to resell it? Are you going to refurbish it? We need to pass on the responsibility to ourselves, but the government, in the first instance, needs to apply all the laws and guidelines as expected of them. It is not happening. So, next caller.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. I can hear you.
Hello, Uncle Jimmy.
I can hear you, Oga.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah.
Wait. Your minute has not started. Let me yap you small. Do you think that this is not the festival of distributing Ramo? This one that they are greeting. No gbemo.
No gbemo. Yeah, my name is Shola Kuli from Igondo.
Yes, Mr. Shola. How?
Now, it's very sad to see the level in which we find ourselves in this part of the world.
Mm-hmm.
I have opportunity to walk around that axis. I'm into piling.
Piling.
Now, if you look at the piling.
Okay.
Piling.
Tyler. Okay.
Yeah. If you look at the soil strata in those environments, Uncle Jimmy, you will see majority of the buildings, 70% of those buildings there, they are on a red alert.
Oof.
Because by the time you drill from 0 to 10 meters, they are rubble pits that it can't hold concrete. It collapses on concrete easily. And I have a project that we are running around the axis that we are going as far back as 35 meters.
Wow.
Imagine. And from the first 1 to 20 meters, it's not good. Though, then we should ask ourselves this question. Most of the buildings in that area, are we saying they are on 35 meters depth? Are we saying they are on 10 meters? Are we saying they are on 15 or 20? Lagos State is not serious about this issue. They need to conduct a soil test profile on all the buildings in that axis.
Okay,
I passed through that area yesterday. I said, look at this place.
Okay.
All this area. If you open the ground, you will see what you get.
Okay, I think the point is quite noted. I don't know much about this 35 meter. What did you say? 35 meters depth and so on and so forth. I have to put a call through to that favorite friend of mine, QS. to give me. But all the major point is that government issue the guidelines, make sure that they are punished, make sure that they are followed. Anybody who doesn't follow them, no matter whoever is building for whoever he is, then you let the law take its course. I will forever give credit to the structural engineer, I'd like to be corrected, who withdrew his services in the Ikoyi, whatever. I will forever, honor the gentleman in question who said, on my honor, I can't do this. I wish we had more people like him. He ran away from a big contract. You can imagine how much he would have lost at that. Do you remember his name?
No, I don't.
Wow. We should single out such people for honor professionally. His body should honor him. If it's the Institute of Engineers or whatever, such people should be brought out for honor. He lost money. He lost a lot of money. He said, but on my honor, I would not have my hand in all this. If we had 10 times more people like that, we probably would have a better building environment. We have just about 10 more minutes to go, in which I will leave, and I'll still take another caller here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Jimmy.
Morning, sir. Who's calling?
Yes, my name is Dambaba.
Morning, Dambaba.
Thank you, sir. You see, I'm tired of blaming government, telling them to do the needful. I think I've put some things in place.
Yes.
If you're my relative, you're living a building I'm not sure of, I will never come to visit you.
Yes.
If you're a mechanic under a high tension, under a bridge, I will never patronize you. If you are selling on the roadside, I'm not buying anything from you. I go straight to the market. If you all started doing all these things, the government are the people who have no choice than to do the right thing. Thank you.
All right, I forgot to add my apologies. You can follow, you can make your comments on Twitter. But please tag along my personal handle at Jimi Disu so that I can read it on the device. My eye is not sharp enough to read what Sheriff has there, and I don't want his voice heard on this program at all. I'm in that mood this morning. I don't even want to hear him breathe. Okay. Okay, you can read that one. I don't. Mutiha.
Yes.
You have to read this one.
Nuhu_M on Twitter says, Uncle Jimmy, the article on the building collapse is not on your blog. Please post it on your Twitter page too.
Oh, okay. It should come up any minute from now. From Kule Uthman. JimiDisu.com. It should come up any minute from now. Don't worry. Yes.
And Joy Forever says, Uncle Jimmy, greed is the major issue. Government officers, developers, landlords, and tenants, most houses in the Butemeta, Lagos Island, even in daylight, you need torchlight to access. No ventilation, even buildings, they have to go through others.
Sheriff, have you taken a good look at your environment when you are in Akpongbo, descending the Eco Bridge?
Yeah.
You
Those
look
buildings,
at
Abi? Yes. Yes.
Some of them are so close that they can't open their windows.
Yes.
Unless they have sliding windows. And it's such that you can from one house to the other, you can just say, neighbor, without shouting at all, neighbor, do you have for me sugar and bear? And they're built so close, and you ask yourself, who sat back and approved this?
I mean, so how did we let that even happen?
How did we let that even happen? And some of them are so close, unless you have sliding windows. And even if you are opening your window, you're opening it to the next apartment.
Yeah.
I've been to houses in Lagos where forever they rely on electricity in terms of lights. You go there to go and see one mama, something, or papa, something is not too well. At 11 o'clock, Egbabisa, somebody has to lead you by the hand like a blind person down the dark alley. We sit back and allow these things happen over time. Akpongbo is a sheer irresponsibility when you look at the way most of the houses are built. Yeah, you'll be surprised that authorities allow this happen. In any case, instead of having them be in two buildings, why don't you join them up as one? So let it be like a duplex. You do understand? But you still put windows and so on and so forth. There have been too many compromises. We need firm governance, very firm governance. But let's go there. That's another thing for another day. Let's get another call here. Hello, good morning. Morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, ma.
Yes, so people are blaming government. This is the man who there. People are blaming government of everything. The building collapse, the wrong building. Who is giving bribe? Is it not ordinary people are giving bribe for the people? Is it someone or federal government that collect? Nobody does any wrong. If Nigerian people are doing wrong, let us embrace truth so that we will be free from all these things are we causing it all. People on that bridge, over than 30, 40 years ago, government has told everybody in Nigeria that there is nobody supposed to be on that bridge. And people are insisting, going there. Is it right? What do you want people to do? What do you want government to do? Where they're wrong, we know, we talk about it. But whenever they are right, you need to help them. Anybody that's clear anybody that's anything wrong. Anytime, any day, take it off immediately and do something right for Nigerians to live. Not one person died, they think the person don't die, government should call. No.
Okay, thank you. We will not absolve government of responsibility. That's why we elected them. The job of a leader, madam, the job of the government.
It's a man.
Is it a man?
Yes, Mazi Ude.
I'm sorry, it sounded like. I'm so sorry, Oga. The job of the government is to enforce the law in any country. Look, the countries that you look up to that appears that they are successful, there is one common trait. That is, the law is enforced. The law is enforced. Like the example I just gave you, where even the prime minister got a fine for having a party. So we will not absolve them of that responsibility. It is government we look up to. You look up to your leader. You don't look down to your followers. You look up, if you're in any community, anything at all, good or bad, you look up to your government. So this comment about always calling in government, who else do we call? Who else do we call? We call our leaders. And I don't like this insinuation that every time we call government, you don't hail them when they do something good. You don't keep hailing people when they do. It's when they do the bad things that it becomes concern. That's the reality. If everything is going on smoothly, I mean, we've had governments before that have done their very best in making sure these things are out there in the open. You don't need anybody to tell you that. So it's not a matter of anybody wanting to be highly critical of government. The truth is that we're in a very big mess, and if we get to a point where we don't talk at all, it means that we've taken it in and we are completely frustrated. So I'd like you to bear that in mind, Oga. We will always hold the government responsible when things like this happen. Because, at the end of the day, they are the leaders. We elected them as our leaders. So let's take one or two more and then we'll be gone. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Okay. They're all down. Let's see if we can hang this one up as well.
Okay, we have another one. Hello. Hello. Please, when you call from a quiet background. There's somebody crying out there in the back.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, please call from a quiet background. You know, there's noise in the background and it's disturbing us here.
Hello, Uncle Jimmy.
Now I can hear you.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
If you have been to Nnamdi Azikiwe, you can move the entire street, Nnamdi Azikiwe Street on Lagos Island. You can move the entire street from one corridor to the other, from beginning to the end. Especially on that street.
What does it mean you can move? What?
You can, Nnamdi Azikiwe.
Yes.
Nnamdi Azikiwe on Lagos Island.
Yes. You can move them as one. You can move them as one.
The entire street without coming down from corridor, as in from balcony to balcony.
Balcony to balcony, yes.
Yes, that is how bad it is in Nnamdi Azikiwe. Most of the business owners who sell the same thing, they don't bother coming down the road to do their business. They just cross from corridor to corridor to the next shop.
Wow.
That is how close the buildings are. But I think Lagos State have many housing estates that they are yet to be allotted. These persons in these buildings that they ought to have demolished yesterday, should have been given space that within now and 3 days, relocate yourself to Ijeri, take one flat each, 2 bedroom and parlor self-con, and then we're coming back 3 days to demolish that place. It is easy. Lagos State is the landlord of Ijeri. They have other housing estates like that on the Lagos streets. They should relocate them and then go into these communities, mark more buildings, and tell them to relocate to those places. Give them 3 months to occupy that place, and then they should go and look for their own apartment.
Okay, thank you. I think that is an unfair responsibility and unfair burden to put on government. I'm a realist. I'm not given to sentiment. Like I said, being a landlord is a commercial enterprise. If we make people responsible from the onset, we will not have this crisis. And there's a limit to what government can do. If government decides they want to relocate everybody from a distressed building to some houses that they have in Isheri and so on and so forth, it will be a never-ending exercise. We need to apply discipline. It is not, nobody has a mandate from God that he must live in Lagos if he cannot afford to. This desperation has to be taken out of our people. You know, I will not burden government with that responsibility. In any case, it will become compromised. Before you know it, those places will be occupied by all kinds of people under the guise that they are distressed people. Let us apply the laws ab initio from the onset. From the onset. Being renting out houses is a commercial enterprise. We shouldn't create a crisis and keep looking at how to solve it where we could have prevented the crisis in the first instance. 51:26, I got to get out of here. The techers will be here any minute from now. We'll be back again tomorrow, 9 o'clock, of course, with Dear Bomi. Oh, by the way, Dear Bomi herself is going to be 72 or 3 on Friday. So for her friends and well-wishers, you have enough notice to wish her happy birthday. Okay, she's going to be, with women and their ages. Sheriff, what is it about women that you never get to know their real ages? I mean, what's the problem? Is that the way they are wired?
No, that's not. I think it's an African thing. Maybe it's a Nigerian thing. It's not the women alone.
No, but they say you don't ask a lady. A man.
I don't know who coined that. I'm not sure that's. I think people just take it from one person to another and they've turned it into a thing.
But I mean, when Auntie Bumi was 70, I'm the one now who can't remember how old she's going to be on Friday. I think it's about 73. But she's still so dandy that you never look at her I've never looked at her as a mama. You know, that kind of thing. Auntie Bumi is still very dandy. And I remember when she hates me saying this, when I asked her when she turned 70, I said, Auntie Bumi, would you still accept a date? And she said, sure, why not? I'd like to ask her that again on Friday. Maybe I should take her out one of these days.
That'll be fun.
That'll be fun. Okay, folks, I got to go. The techers will be here any minute from now. Baraka de Salah to all of you. Enjoy yourselves with reason. Bye.
Hey, put a spotlight on me. Now let me...
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.